This video is not a substitute for kite lessons. It is a tool to assist your instructor or kite school with your training. If you are watching this by yourself, make sure you don't try anything alone. Look for a qualified instructor and/or kite school in your area. This video's goal is to help the instructor take a student through all the necessary steps of basic kite flying and all the way up to riding upwind. Understand that kiteboarding is not super complicated or super simple. The best way to put it is that it is a time-consuming learning process. Regardless of your talents, previous experiences, and background, it will take time, dedication, discipline, wind, and money. Second, please be aware that it can be very dangerous not only for you but for everyone around you. The kites are extremely powerful and if used improperly can cause injury or death to you and others surrounding you. Third, realize that even if you windsurf, wakeboard, snowboard, surf, paraglide, or have flown trainer kites, it can still be a very dangerous and time-consuming learning process. Fourth, remember that you are doing this for fun, so take your time and enjoy every step of your learning process. We will show how an exercise should be performed and how the student should systematically practice it and only it. Once the exercise has been done successfully, it should be practiced a few more times until automation or muscle memory is achieved. If the exercise is not done correctly, it's important that the student masters the step to achieve the skills before moving on. Remember, if you cheat here, you are only cheating yourself. Don't move on until each goal is achieved and you're comfortable with the move. Repetition of success equals muscle memory. Make sure you are having success before you start the repetition. Otherwise, you will cause a bad habit by repeating exercises that are not done properly. Start. First thing we're doing is flying a trainer kite to get some basic skill and muscle memory before we go in the water. But before we do that, we should have found the right place for it and know a little about site choice for beginners. Steady side shore, side onshore wind of 14 to 20 miles per hour. Wide and long sandy beach with sandy bottom. No trees or power lines. No shore break or waves. No currents. No fences, volleyball nets, or any kind of obstacles. The only people at the beach are kite instructors evenly spread on the beach that are ready to help. That would be the perfect scenario. You will find it very hard to find a place with all these characteristics. So work with what you have, but take extra precautions for anything different than the perfect scenario. Find a place with not that many beach users. If none are present, even better. If they are part of the kite society, then you're okay. Main thing is be respectful and careful when other people are around. Give yourself room for things to go wrong in case they do. Wind. Side shore and side onshore winds are the best and only safe directions for kiteboarding. Do not kite on offshore winds. Obstacles. Please be aware of any potential obstacles. Obstacles may include reef, rocks, boats, buoys, and people. Mechanical turbulences. Turbulence can be caused by trees, mountains, hills, or buildings. Mechanical turbulence is usually 6 times the size of the obstacle. Wind window. The wind window is the area where the kite flies. To determine your wind window, put your back into the wind and look straight up. That's 12 o'clock. It's easy to figure out where the numbers are from there. The kite usually flies at the edge of the window, unless you steer it fast or overshoot the kite. To steer the kite smoothly, it's important to fly the kite from number to number to avoid flying the kite through the power zone. The power zone is straight downwind of you. You only fly the kite through that area if you are trying to generate more power. To do that, all you have to do is fly the kite skipping numbers. Example, 12 to 2. If you pull on the bar too much, you will overshoot the kite. Try to avoid doing that. If you do so, let the bar out and the kite should go right back to the edge of the window. The parts of the trainer kite: leading edge, trailing edge, wingtips, bridle. Now we are ready to fly the trainer kite. Prepare for the beach. At this point, it's good to wear sunscreen, booties, board shorts, rash guard, and a harness with hook knife. Kite setup. Set the kite downwind with sand evenly spread on the trailing edge. Untangle bridles. Unwind and untwist line. Connect your lines, red is left, attach your safety leash if there is one, and make sure every element is right to launch. Basic flying skills. Double check all safety elements of the beach. Back up into wind with long arms and launch the kite. Practice first, keeping the kite up high so there's less chances of crashing it. Practice moving it between 11 o'clock and 1 o'clock. Once you acquire your basic turning skills, let's try to fly the kite in a steady position. This is very important. Flying the kite steady through the wind window. Let's start with the kite at 12 o'clock. And then 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, back to 1 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 11 o'clock, and 10 o'clock. Try to leave the kite steady for at least 5 seconds in each clock position without skipping numbers. Do that 2 times throughout the window. Generating more power from the kite. Now let's learn how to pump the kite. When the wind is light, the movement of the kite will be necessary, so we will practice now doing 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock. Flying the kite hooked in. Steady the kite at 12 while looking at it and hook in and unhook a couple of times. Try to keep your eyes steady on the kite. And now let's repeat this. Unhooked and again hooked in. Now let's move on and do this with one hand. Repeat all the steps with one hand. When flying the kite on the left side of the window, fly the kite with your right hand. When flying the kite on the right side of the window, fly the kite with your left hand. Walking while flying the kite hooked in. Walk with your free hand pointing where you're going. This is a good simulation of body dragging upwind. When walking, try to keep the kite as steady as possible and have the kite in the direction you want to walk. Remember, wherever you fly the kite, that's where it is taking you. So be sure to fly the kite where you want to go. When changing directions, take 1 second to pause at 12 o'clock and switch hands. Parts of the inflatable kite: leading edge, trailing edge, wingtips, struts, bridle. Always start your day by checking the weather forecast, wind direction, tides, and assessing the potential hazards at the beach, rules, and etc. Laying at your lines first will give you a little more time on the beach to feel the wind and conditions so you are sure of what size kite to rig. The parts of the 4-line bar: trim loop and release, center traveling D power line, trim tab or D power strap, left side, which is red, and right side line, which is blue, 2 center lines that are gray, and a safety leash. Inflating your kite. Now let's decide what size kite to rig. This chart is for advanced riders, so to be safe when beginning, you can use 1 or 2 sizes smaller than recommended here. If you can't go any smaller on your kite size, use shorter lines than factory original, anywhere between 10 and 15 meters. Shorter lines will make things much more friendly in the beginning. Look at the water and check what size kite other riders are on. This is just as valuable as checking the wind speed. Grab the kite by one wingtip, letting it blow downwind. Fold the wingtip in your hands and place sand on it so the sand stays on the outside of the kite surface. This will keep the kite from blowing away. Pump struts individually, unless your kite has an Octopus System 1 pump. After all struts are done, pump the leading edge. At this point, you want to put your pump leash on the leading edge of the kite. Remove the sand from the wingtip and pump it with your back into the wind. Hold on to the leading edge and remove the leash from the leading edge. Turn your kite around with the leading edge down. Don't forget to put some sand on your kite to secure it. Walk about 20 steps downwind and lay the end of the lines down and unwind the bar upwind. When all lines are out, position the bar on the ground with the red side on the left. Start separating outside lines, red and blue, walking them downwind. Once the outside lines are clear, placing them on the sand about 5 feet from each other, place some sand on the lines so it doesn't get blown by the wind. Go back and untwist your center lines, separating them. Once all 4 lines are clear and divided, place sand on the end of the lines. Go downwind around the kite towards the trailing edge and find the bridles. Straighten the bridles out and place them down separated, cleared, and organized. Find the 2 center gray lines, which should be underneath everything, and connect those, left gray to left gray, right gray to right gray, followed by connecting the trailing edge lines, red to red, blue to blue. After done connecting the lines, make sure all the lines are under the wingtip. For more information on adjustment, check your kite manual or ask your instructor. Safety. Before we go in the water, it's very important that you know what to do in case things don't go as planned. If something happens and you don't know how to react, you might be in danger. So the thing to do is to kill the power of the kite or bail the bar. Remember, you can never be too safe, especially near or over land. If your scenario is pretty friendly and there is no danger at the moment, for example, this stronger gust of wind came by, scaring you a little, you can punch the stopper ball and keep that bar as far away from you as possible. That will eliminate about 55% of the power. Now, if you're over land or in danger, the best and quickest way to kill the kite is to activate the release on your trim loop by grabbing it and pushing away from you. The release mechanism will be activated, killing 90% of the power of the kite. After letting the bar go or killing the kite, you have 2 options: getting back to the bar and relaunching your kite, more advanced and dangerous, or self-rescuing, easiest and safest. Check your kite manual for more information on your trim loop release. Self-rescue. To self-rescue, climb your leash line all the way up to the kite. Avoid getting caught up in the middle of the lines by slightly swimming away from the beach while climbing the lines. When you get to the kite, climb up to your left, right blue wingtip, and fold the tip over and grab the bridle and climb down toward the other tip. You can adjust the power depending on how far you go toward the other tip. Once you get to the beach, let go of one of the tips and hold the kite by the leading edge or center. Walk out of the water and place the kite with leading edge down on a safe location on the beach, above the water line. Put sand to the kite to secure it and walk your lines downwind. Launching your inflatable kite on the beach. There are several ways to launch your kite, but we will cover the 3 most used ones. Please be aware that launching is probably one of the most critical moments of kiteboarding, because you are over land and you are about to find out if you made all the correct choices previous to launching. So before launching, always make sure that you rigged the right size kite, you connected your lines and safety leash correctly, you know how and practiced how to pull your safety release by killing the power and maintaining the killed kite attached to you without putting other people in danger. You set yourself up in the correct angle in relation to the wind and beach, clear of obstacles, people, and turbulent wind. Now you are ready to launch. Choose wisely how and who launches your kite. Don't forget to double check your lines. Launching methods. We will show you some of the different methods to safely launch a kite. We recommend that the first time you fly the inflatable kite is in the water with your instructor with a safe distance from the beach. Air launching the kite. The air launch is when your kite is launched into the air at the lower edge of the wind window. With the wind at your back and the water on your right-hand side, you should start your kite at 3 o'clock and slowly bring your kite to 2 o'clock as you walk simultaneously toward the water. When getting to the water, lay down as soon as you are knee-deep and try not to resist the kite and allow yourself to get pulled by the kite into the ocean. Try to maintain the kite in that position, 2 o'clock, until you're 200 feet from the beach shore, minimum 2 line lengths, and then consider doing your next step. Water launching the kite. The water launch is when you start your kite at the edge of the wind window with the wingtip of the kite in the water. You push on the bar with the opposite hand according to the position of the kite. The kite is at the right-hand side of the wind window, 3 o'clock. With your left hand, push on the bar, keeping the kite from going in the air. Walk towards the water. After getting a safe distance from the beach, launch the kite from the water and follow on normally. Self-launch. We will cover self-launching later on. It is considered an advanced maneuver or skill. It requires a couple of weeks or months of experience before you want to try this. Tandem body drag. All right, we're finally going in the water for the first time. The best way to experience this is by holding on to the harness of an experienced instructor and going for a ride. Body dragging is a lot of fun. Enjoy it. Hand signs. 12 o'clock or neutral. Going out towards the water. Coming in towards the beach. Come in and land the kite. Push the release and kill the kite. Solo body drag. With your instructor's approval of your performance with the tandem body drag, you are now ready for the solo body drag. Solo launch. Execute the safest method chosen by your instructor. In our example, we will do an air launch. After launch, try to make it a priority of getting in the water and getting away from the beach. Body dragging in and out. This is the same as when performed with your instructor. Just remember, maintain steady kite control. Avoid oversteering and crashing the kite. One body drag out with the kite at 2 o'clock, pause at 12 o'clock, then switch your hands on the bar, and then one body drag back in with the kite at 10 o'clock is sufficient for the first solo body drag. Remember, smooth kite control and proper body dragging position is our goal. Landing the kite to the instructor. With steady kite control and having a minimum of 150 feet from the beach, you should slowly fly the kite from 12 o'clock down to 9 o'clock. Remember to keep pushing on the bar, blue right-hand side, to keep the kite at 9 o'clock. The kite will continue to pull you toward the shore where your instructor will be waiting to catch the kite. This procedure will be used every time so there is no confusion. If another body drag isn't needed, the next step is body dragging with the board. Solo drag with board. Solo body dragging with the board adds another element to our learning process, so it's important to remember everything we have learned already. Starboard. With the wind at your back and the water on your right-hand side, you should start your kite at 3 o'clock. And slowly bring your kite to 2 o'clock as you walk simultaneously toward the water. When doing the solo launch, it's very important that you have steady kite control. 2 o'clock on the wind window is the highest point we will ever bring the kite on a launch. Steady kite control and 2 o'clock is what we need to remember. When getting to the water, lay down as soon as you are knee-deep and try not to resist the kite. Point the board slightly upwind and put the upwind rail into the water and allow yourself to get pulled by the kite through the water. And try to maintain the kite in that position of 2 o'clock until you are 200 feet from the shore, a minimum of 2 times the line length. And then get ready for your body drag with the board in and out. Remember to pause at 12 o'clock and switch hands with the board. Also remember, when landing the kite on the water 150 feet from the shore, you should have the board in your left hand and be pushing with your right hand to secure the kite at 9 o'clock. With steady kite control and having a minimum of 150 feet from the beach, you should slowly fly the kite from 12 o'clock down to 9 o'clock. Remember to keep pushing on the bar, the blue right-hand side, to keep the kite at 9 o'clock. The kite will continue to pull you toward the shore where your instructor will be waiting to catch the kite. Second body drag with board. Second body drag with the board, you will body drag out a safe distance from the beach. Once you have attained our safe distance from the beach, you will try something new. What you want to do now is loose and recover the board. Put the kite at 2 o'clock and start body dragging out and let go of the board and do not look at it. Pay attention only on body dragging out for 3 seconds. Pause at 12 o'clock, switch hands, and body drag back in with the kite at 10 o'clock and recover the board. Then body drag back toward the beach with the board in your left hand and land the kite on the water 150 feet from the shore and allow it to pull you in and land the kite to your instructor. Kite water relaunch. If your kite is down, the first thing to do is make sure that you have enough space necessary to relaunch your kite. This should be a minimum double the line length around you. If you don't, go right into self-rescue mode. If you do pull one of the sides directly on the kite line, red for example, until the leading edge starts pointing towards the sky, release that line and fly the kite with both hands on the bar. Board run and water start. All right, you're finally ready to try riding the board. To do that, we will use the best technique to launch and get a good safe distance from the beach, about 200 feet, and put your board on. Putting your board on. Park the kite at 12:30 and put your board on with your right hand. Try to put both feet on the rail and then wedge it in to the foot straps. Keep the board as close to your bum as possible with knees flexed and centered. Power stroke. Starboard 11 to 2 is the most common way to get up going starboard. A couple of pointers. Point your board downwind. Don't pull yourself up. Don't bend your arms. Make sure after you fly your kite from 11 o'clock straight to 2 o'clock that you don't allow it to go any lower than 2 o'clock and bring it back to 1 and either start pumping or stabilize it at 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock. Planing. Once up on the board, we will try to plane. To plane, you got to build up a little bit of speed. And to do that, it's a good idea to point slightly downwind and pump your kite in case you need more power. If not, leave the kite steady at a higher number so you're closer to a stopping position. To stop, bring the kite slowly to 12 o'clock, point downwind to burn out any excessive speed, and then edge and seat back down on the water. After that, it's a good idea to body drag back to the beach. Land your kite to your instructor in the same safe way you've been doing throughout the course and get some useful feedback from your instructor. Second board run and water start and planing. The goal of the second run, third run, and so on is to just get better at what you've been practicing since the first run and all your body drags. One thing is a given, things don't always go as planned. You will be spending some time looking for your board or relaunching or walking upwind with your kite, but try your very best to take it easy. Be patient and your learning process should go on without any problems. Once getting up on the board and easily planing in one direction, try riding in the other direction. Remember that you must stop in between one direction and the other. Do not try turning it. It can be dangerous at this stage. Also make sure when riding in, you stop at a safe distance from the beach, approximately 200 feet. The big M run is when you are able to launch, drag out, water start, ride out, stop, ride in, stop, and ride back out, stop and ride back in, and body drag the rest of the way in and safely land your kite. Upwind riding. Going upwind is basically not going downwind. If you can go out and come back to the same spot where you started, you're staying upwind. Going upwind is a balance between speed and the direction you're going. A couple of pointers are, look upwind in the direction you want to go. Do not get going too fast. Try to have uneventful stops towards the end of each run. Ease into edging by building a little speed first. Self-launch, self-landing. Self-landing is just self-rescuing. Self-launch is a little bit trickier. It should only be attempted once you have enough skills to go upwind on the board. Also, you should try it for the first time the day the wind is light and consistent. Make sure you have a person holding your harness and another backing up the kite in case it does not go well. And remember, all you gotta do is pull the safety leash if it does not go as you predicted. Double check your lines. Put your kite near the water line, but not in the water line. Face the kite sideways into the wind. Facing the water more, place a little sand on the upwind side. Organize your lines and run back to your bar. Attach the safety leash first and then connect yourself to the trim loop. Launch the kite by pulling back on the whole bar. When wind catches the kite, pull little on the red side, directly on the line. As soon as the kite is facing 2 o'clock, let the bar out so it depowers. Grab your board and start heading towards the water. Well, that's all for now, folks. Kite safely, have fun, and enjoy the ride.
I'm in love with a new girl.